Okay, so today I am going to talk about, I guess today's title is I Found God in the Garden. And I know that is a strange title because I don't normally speak of religion or religious things, but I sort of wanted to make the statement and discuss it a little bit. Now, this is sort of a testimonial, so if you don't like that kind of thing, go ahead and change the video. I'm going to title it in a way that you know immediately that this is going to be of religion of sorts. But I've always been drawn to the garden from a young age. I've always loved the lizards and the toads and the creepy crawlies and the spiders. And every time I'm in the garden, it's all of the connections between nature that makes me believe that there is a God, because there's no way that a human being or an entity could come up with all this stuff, and there's no way it all came out of a mud puddle. So anyhow, with that said, so I've always believed in God, but I have not, hang on a second, car just went by and Noah's chained to me, so he tried to take off. Anyhow, so I've always believed in God, but I have not always worshiped God. I've had a tumultuous relationship. I've always been, I done good for people at a young age. I would literally, give people a free place of rent, shoes, for their interview, clothes, feed them, and they would rob me, So at a young age, I had this feeling of, disappointment and heartbreak from my fellow humans of anytime I did something good, I had direct hurtful stuff done in return. So I've always been the judge. Not a judge, but I've always wanted what's right, because I did right. I expected everybody else to do right, and every time there was an injustice, I would point it out, and it always goes back to that atheist thing of, how come babies die, and how come good people die, and how come the bad people get all the things, how can you do this to me, God? That was more or less. And I sort of turned my back on religion. But it's recently I've turned a corner back into trying to do good for people. I've recently come to the fact that being full of angst and trying to make things fair and equal, well, I guess that's not my job. That's God's job. And I've been trying to do God's job, and I guess he does that better. So I need to leave him at his will. And with that said, that whole idea of how come babies die and stuff like that. And the best way that I've come to contemplate that in my mind and think about it is God knows the beginning, the middle, and the end, whereas we only know a little piece of it. So maybe all the things that happen, for instance, maybe all the things that made me feel abandoned by humans, by God, by whatever, maybe all those things had to happen in order for me to say the things that I say now, in order to inspire somebody else to see their way through life, So I don't know why, but I just wanted to try this video. I have not really delved into this type of, I've always felt like I'm unworthy to preach because, I'm a sinner, I'll admit it, I'm a sinner, you know, so I've always felt like, who am I to say anything to anybody? And so I'm not preacher and saying do good, do, you know, that kind of thing. But I've just changed the idea of my purpose in life, and my purpose now is to try and do something good for people. So with that in mind, or you know, how can I do something good for somebody else? So with that in mind, that is sort of why I made this video. Maybe what I'm saying will help somebody else, and maybe you could also find God in the garden. And part of it too, I wanted to say that I feel like, and this world is very crazy right now. I'm just staring at all the persimmons. I hope you're taking them in. Maybe somebody's counting them while I'm doing all this. But there's quite a few on here. This is November's treats. So, so yeah, I feel like the reason why the garden is so important right now, why so many people want to homestead, is because that's where we started. When, you know, God created the earth, he put us in this beautiful garden. So now we're all wanting to go back to that garden. And I think that as a society, we need to all try to go back to that garden. If we start doing the things required to try and make it the way God gave it, the way God intended it for us, then you know, and I think that's the whole homesteading yearning part of it, is to create, you know, just a food where you can go out and eat. And the thing about it, I don't know, there is something so nourishing and satisfying. I have been, like yesterday, I came out here, I picked 10 figs. I ate every single one of those 10 figs. And I feel like a Bogart, but at the same sense, it's like I feel like God created these treats specifically for me, and they're perfect today. So, and I'm so thankful when I eat them, and there's something entirely magical about it. And so I have a desire to create a garden that people can come to and graze and, you know, maybe get in touch with their feelings, or maybe inspire people to want to live by the fruit of the land a little more often. But I love this pomegranate tree. This is a Fuyu. It's about 3 years old, and I'm thinking about getting some more of these in. Actually, I want to get a whole bunch more of them in. It's just I have a minimum order I got to do, and they're not really selling anything else that I want to get right now. So I'm contemplating with that. But I know I got to order soon because it's out of Georgia, and I know their fall ends sooner than ours do. So I need to get some persimmon trees in. But hopefully, because of how well this one done, I plan on planting probably at least 10 more on this property, but I hope to have 10 or 20 available for purchase. Also, I was going to note that this one right here just popped up next to it. Now, the persimmons last year didn't have any seeds, so I don't know if this is just a rooting that come up, but this just come up next to it. Anyhow, yeah, like I said, this is a strange video, and the purpose in life, and you're always wondering, you know, here, I'm going to get back to this. You're always wondering, you know, I see these people from a young age that can belt out a song or draw the prettiest artwork on the planet, and I'm always so, I wish I knew what it was I'm supposed to do. Well, here's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to praise God and be nice to people in order to show them God. So there's our purpose, is to do good in the world, and to, you know, be good to everybody and stand out for for the sake of God. So, and even if you do not believe in God, and I want to say this too, if you do not believe in God, the concept of God creates good behavior in human beings. So, I don't know. Maybe you want to argue that one with me, maybe not. But anyhow, and part of the reason why I chose a persimmon tree is it kind of reminds me of in the Bible, you know, the apple. But some argue that it's possibly a persimmon tree that that Eve, you know, that was the root of all evil. So, the tree of knowledge. But anyhow, with that thought, have a great day. I hope you wake up tomorrow determined to be happy and find a way to make somebody else happy. And that's it. Bye for now.